Giant students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Students, every day is a new beginning. Take a deep breath, smile, and start again. No matter how hard the past is, you can always begin again. So, every day is a chance to begin again. So, don't focus on the failures of yesterday. Instead, start today with positive thoughts and expectations.
With that positive note, students, let's begin today's session. Today, in this particular session, we are going to discuss about wave velocity, particle acceleration, phase and phase difference. So students, let's start with wave velocity. Now, as we have discussed, wave velocity is the velocity with which a wave propagates. And here we are talking about progressive wave. So, it is defined as the velocity with which a progressive wave travels through a given medium or through a particular medium. And in a given medium, students, wave velocity is always constant, right? So, wave velocity is the velocity with which it propagates. And here we are discussing a progressive wave or a traveling harmonic wave. And in a given medium, the wave velocity is constant. And we are aware of the relationship between the wave velocity, its frequency and the wavelength. Now we know that velocity, that is, I am talking about the wave velocity, we will represent it by V. It is equal to the product of frequency of the wave, which is represented by nu, and the wavelength of the wave, that is represented by lambda. So, V is related to frequency and wavelength as V equals to nu lambda. This we have earlier verified it mathematically, right? Here nu is the frequency and lambda stands for the wavelength of the waves. Students, a wave, we are aware, it propagates through a medium due to the repeated periodic motion of the particles of the medium. So obviously, the velocity of the particle of the medium will continuously change with time. So, we define instantaneous particle velocity as the time rate of change of its displacement at that instant of time, right? We will denote the particle velocity by letter u, right? Now students, we are aware the displacement of a particle in a progressive wave at any time, and we are assuming the progressive wave to be traveling along the positive x direction. So let's write down its standard equation. So the displacement of a particle in a progressive wave say at any instant t, at time t, and the wave is assumed to be propagating along the positive x direction, right? So its displacement, we are aware it's given by r sine 2 pi by lambda vt minus x. V, as we have discussed, it is the wave velocity which is constant. R is the amplitude, which is the maximum displacement of the particle executing vibratory motion about its mean position. Lambda is the wavelength, and x obviously is the position of the particle, right? Y is the displacement. So it is dependent on both x position and time t. Now the instantaneous particle velocity, obviously it would be given by differential coefficient of displacement with respect to time, isn't it? So let's try to solve it by substituting the value of y over here. So y is r sine 2 pi by lambda vt minus x, right? So the constant, it can be taken outside. So r being constant, it can be taken outside, isn't it? And the differentiation of cos sine theta, it is cos theta. So it will be cos, this is the argument part, which is 2 pi by lambda vt minus x into differentiation of this argument part, because we are here differentiating with respect to time. So it would be 2 pi by lambda vt minus x, right? So the instantaneous particle velocity, it is given by r cos 2 pi by lambda vt minus x multiplied by, now look students, here we are differentiating with respect to time, x being the position of that particle. The particle won't change its position, so x being constant, its differentiation will be 0. So the differentiation of this term, 2 pi v by lambda being constant, can be taken outside, and dt by dt is 1. So here we will be left with 2 pi v divided by lambda. So the instantaneous particle velocity may also be written as 2 pi r v divided by lambda multiplied by cos 2 pi by lambda vt minus x, right? Now here students, let us concentrate on this particular term, 2 pi rv divided by lambda. It may be written as r multiplied by 2 pi v by lambda, isn't it? Which in turn is equal to r multiplied by 2 pi v by lambda. It is frequency. Now look students, here v by lambda is frequency, right? Since velocity divided by lambda, it is equal to frequency. V is the wave velocity, which I have told you it's constant. So this in turn is equal to omega into r, because omega, it's equal to 2 pi into nu. So omega is the angular frequency, right? Therefore students, the instantaneous particle velocity is given by r omega cos 2 pi by lambda vt minus x, right? And the maximum value of cosine function, it is 1, isn't it? So the maximum value of cosine function being 1, the maximum particle velocity would be omega r, and the maximum particle velocity is known as the velocity amplitude. So here the maximum particle velocity is, suppose it is represented by u naught, it would be equal to r omega, right? This is known as velocity amplitude. Amplitude is the term which we make use to denote the maximum value of a physical quantity, right? So it may be written as u is equal to u naught cos 2 pi by lambda vt minus x. Here I would like to mention again that the wave, I am talking about the progressive wave or the traveling wave, right? The traveling wave or the progressive wave, it propagates through a medium due to the repeated periodic motion of the particles of the medium. So when a traveling transverse wave propagates through a medium, then the particles of the medium oscillate up and down harmonically about its mean position. So this is the expression for the instantaneous velocity of the particle of the medium, which is executing oscillatory motion about its mean position. So here, students, the particle velocity, it varies simple harmonically with time t, right? Whereas the wave velocity, it is constant in a given medium. Clear? So obviously, particle velocity, it is maximum when it passes through the mean position, and at the extreme position it momentarily stops. So there it will be 0. So particle velocity varies with time, while wave velocity in a medium is constant. Now let's find an expression for the particle acceleration. Now instantaneous acceleration, that is defined as the time rate change in the particle velocity, right, at a given instant of time. Now therefore, in calculus, students, the acceleration, the particle acceleration, suppose it is represented by A, it will be given by differential coefficient of particle velocity with respect to time. Now as we are aware, just now we have discussed the particle velocity, it's given by omega r cos 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x. Now let's substitute this value of u over here and solve it so as to get the expression for the particle acceleration. So it is omega r cos 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x. Obviously here we have considered the progressive wave to be traveling along the positive x direction, right? So omega r being constant, it can be taken outside. And the differentiation of cos theta, it's minus sine theta, isn't it? So we get minus sine. This is the argument part, which is 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x multiplied by differentiation of this argument part with respect to time, that is 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x, right? Now here, students, x is the position, right? The particle of the medium, it will keep oscillating harmonically about its mean position. It won't change its position. So x being constant, the differentiation of x with respect to t will be 0. Now, the differentiation of this term would be 2 pi v divided by lambda. dt by dt will give us 1. This v is particle velocity, which is constant. Lambda is wavelength of the wave, which is constant. So this being constant, the value of this term would be 2 pi v divided by lambda. So acceleration is minus omega r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x into, here we get 2 pi v divided by lambda. That is acceleration, particle acceleration, it is minus omega r, this term is 2 pi. Now v by lambda, we are aware velocity is frequency multiplied by wavelength, so v by lambda is frequency into sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x, which implies that A is equal to, now again students, 2 pi nu is the frequency, 2 pi nu is angular frequency, which is denoted by omega. So here we get minus omega square r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x. So what we have used over here is this V by lambda, it is equal to frequency, and 2 pi into linear frequency, that is angular frequency. Now students, also we have obtained the displacement for the plane progress wave traveling along the positive x direction. This is the expression for the displacement, isn't it? So as the displacement is the displacement of the particle is given by y is equal to r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x. This is the standard equation of a plane progressive wave traveling along the positive x direction, isn't it? So from these two, what we get is, for 1 and 2, what we get is acceleration. I'm talking about the particle acceleration, that is given by minus omega square, and this term, it is displacement. So what we have proved is, students, the particle acceleration is directly proportional to the displacement, and this negative sign suggests that the particle acceleration is always directed towards the mean position. Now the displacement of the particle is directed always away from the mean position. So this negative sign is suggestive of the fact that the particle acceleration is always directed towards the mean position. So we have verified both these mandatory conditions, right, for SHM. So what we can safely conclude is that the wave propagates through a medium due to the repeated periodic harmonic motion of the particles constituting the medium about their mean position. So this is what we have proved, that the particle of the medium executes simple harmonic motion, right? And students, here concentrate on this term. The sine function, its maximum value is 1, isn't it? So the maximum value of the acceleration, its magnitude would be omega square r. And just now I've told you the maximum value of a physical quantity is known as its amplitude. So actually omega square r, it represents acceleration amplitude. So the acceleration amplitude is, it is the maximum value of the acceleration. So it is in magnitude, it is omega square. In place of y, we will substitute r. This is the acceleration amplitude. Now students, the argument of the sign in the equation of the displacement of the progressive wave, that is known as the phase. So this is the argument of sign in this particular equation, right? So phase is normally denoted by phi. This is denoted by phi, and it is equal to, this is the argument of sine function. So it is equal to 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x, right? So phase actually is the state of vibration of a particle. It actually specifies the location or timing of a point within a wave cycle of a repetitive waveform. Mathematically, the argument of the sign in this equation that represents phase, it can be represented in some other manner as well. It can also be represented as 2 pi. Now lambda can be taken inside the bracket Vt by lambda. Now V by lambda, let me write in steps, minus x by lambda. It can again be written in this particular manner, 2 pi. V divided by lambda is frequency, isn't it? Nu is the frequency. Or students, the phase may also be written in this particular manner, 2 pi. Frequency is reciprocal of time period. Capital T is the time period, minus x by lambda. So this term, it is known as the phase of the wave. Now clearly from this equation it follows that phase of the wave is a function of both t as well as x. That is, it varies with both the position as well as time. So this is the expression for the phase. Consider a transverse progressive wave to be propagating towards the positive x direction, right? So here the wave propagates due to the repeated vibratory motion of the particles of the medium about its mean position. So here, since it is considered to be of transverse nature, the particles of the medium will vibrate harmonically up and down about its mean position like this, right? So let's consider this to be point A, this to be point B, and let us consider this to be point C. So the particles at point A and B are said to be in the same phase. They are in the same state of vibration. Why? Because consider these two particles A and B. These two are oscillating like this. They are in the same state of vibration, right? So these particles are said to be in the same state of vibration, and accordingly they are said to be in the same phase, right? While on the other hand, if you consider particles A and C, these will oscillate like this. They are said to be out of phase. They are out of phase, having a phase difference of pi, that is 180 degree. So in this case, the phase difference is 2 pi. That is, they are in the same state of vibration or in the same phase. While in this case, between A and C or between B and C, they are said to be oscillating out of phase. That is, they have a phase difference of pi, that is 180 degree. So from the discussion we conclude that if the 2 points are at a separation of lambda or integral multiple of lambda, which is the wavelength, then those 2 points are said to be in the same phase. While if the 2 points are at a separation of lambda by 2 or at an odd integral multiple of lambda by 2, then they are said to be out of phase with each other, right? Now students, let us discuss the phase change with time. Now phase change with time. How the phase changes with time. So for that, what we do is, we'll consider x to be constant, right? We'll consider x to be constant. So the phase changes with time t. So what I do is, we consider this particular equation. So phi, when x is constant. So in that case, on differentiating this equation with respect to time, taking x as constant, we get del phi, it would be equal to 2 pi by capital T. This being constant, we can write it like this. And differentiation of t, small t, that can be written as del t, isn't it? X and lambda being constant, its differentiation would be 0. So we'll be left with this. Therefore, the phase changes with time as del phi is equal to 2 pi by capital T into del t. So this is how phase changes with time at a given point. At a given point means x is constant. Now let us concentrate on the phase change with position. So let us discuss the phase change with position. Here we'll consider a given time. So t would be considered to be constant, right? So here phase change with position at a given time, t will be considered to be constant. So again, differentiating this equation, we get del phi, right? With respect to x, we will differentiate. So t being constant, this entire term is constant, it will become 0. So here on differentiating, we'll get minus 2 pi by lambda, and differentiation of x would be del x, right? That is the relationship of phase change with the position at a given time, that is when t is constant, that is given by minus 2 pi by lambda multiplied by del x. Here students, this negative sign, it indicates that for a given progressive traveling wave along the positive x-axis, the farther away a particle is situated from the origin, the more it lags behind in phase. So in other words, such a point which is situated farther away from the origin, it attains the corresponding stage of oscillation at some time later. So it starts lagging behind, isn't it? The more farther the point is from the origin, the more is the lag, more is the phase lag. So that is the significance of this negative sign. Students, here I must mention a very important point, that each particle of the medium possesses a constant amplitude. The amplitude is constant for each particle, right? But its phase changes as the wave propagates, right? Also students, there is a regular phase difference between succeeding particles and a continuous variation of phase all along the wave. So this equation suggests the phase change with time, keeping x constant, and this equation suggests the phase change with position at a given instant when t is constant. Let's now try to attempt this question. A progressive wave of frequency 500 Hz. So frequency of the wave is given to be 500 Hz, is traveling with a velocity of 360 meter per second. How far apart are the 2 points 60 degree out of phase, right? So we are supposed to find out the distance between the 2 points which are having a phase difference of 60 degree or pi by 3. So students, frequency is given, velocity is given. So using the formula V is equal to nu lambda, the wavelength can be easily calculated. It will be given by velocity divided by frequency. So velocity is given to be 360, frequency is given to be 500. So it will be equal to 36 by 50. So it will be equal to 0.72 meter, right? This is the wavelength of the wave. Now, just now we have discussed that the phase change, the phase basically changes with position as del phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into del x. So at a given time, the phase changes with position as this particular equation. Just now we have discussed it, isn't it? So here students, the phase change, that is given to be 60 degree. Let's convert it in radian, so it will be pi by 3 radians, right? Therefore, we need to find out how far apart are the 2 points. So del x is to be determined, the distance between the 2 points. So del x, from this what we get is lambda over 2 pi into del phi. So let's substitute this value. Lambda, which is the wavelength, it's found to be 0.72, right? Divided by 2 pi. And phase change in terms of radians, it's pi by 3. So we'll get 0.72 divided by 6. So it is 0.12 meter. So the points which are 60 degree out of phase must be 0.12 meter apart. Now this is a very interesting question, students. Here the displacement y of a particle in a medium is given to be y equals to 10 raised to a minus 6 sine 100t plus 20x plus pi by 4. So here t is given to be in seconds and x is in meter. We are supposed to find out the speed of the wave, and also we are supposed to determine the direction in which the wave is propagating. So for that, students, we need to compare it with the standard equation of the displacement of the particle, right, when the wave propagates in the case of traveling wave. So the displacement of the particle is given by the displacement of the particle is given by, we are aware wave propagates only due to the repeated periodic oscillatory motion about its mean position. So the displacement of the particle at an instant is given by the standard equation. It is r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x, right? And in case there is some initial phase, phi is the initial phase, then it's given by plus phi. Now students, this is the standard equation of a plane progressive wave which is propagating along the positive x direction. Along the positive x direction. Now our objective would be to convert this given equation in this standard form. So here we are given that here the displacement is given to be 10 raised to a minus 6 sine 100t plus 20x plus pi by 4. So our objective would be to convert this in the standard form, right? Here remember the coefficient of x should be 1, isn't it? So here it's 20, so 20 needs to be taken as common. So what we do is we can rearrange this term. So it can be written as 10 raised to minus 6 sine. So what we do is if we take 20 as common, so what we get is 100t divided by 20 plus x plus pi by 4. So we can rewrite this equation in this particular manner, right? So the coefficient of x, it should be 1, right? Now we can compare these two, students. We can easily compare these two. So comparing, what we get is y, it can be further written as 10 raised to a minus 6 sine 20. 100 by 20 is 5t minus, it can be written as minus x plus pi by 4. Okay students, now compare these two equations. The amplitude r is 10 raised to a minus 6 in meters, right? 2 pi by lambda, it is 20 units. Coefficient of t is velocity. Here the coefficient of t is 5. So the velocity of the wave would be 5 units, 5 meter per second. And here it is plus x. So obviously the wave is propagating towards the negative x-axis. And phi is the initial phase. So what about the initial phase? It is pi by 4, which is 45 degree, right? So comparing these two equations, we can gather these informations. First is the amplitude r, which is 10 raised to power minus 6. Since x is in meters, so it will be also in meters. Second is, students, the coefficient of t is velocity. Here the coefficient of t is 5. So the wave velocity is 5. T is in seconds, x is in meters. So it would be meter per second. Third is, students, initial phase phi. Although we are not asked to get all these values, but still you can easily gather these informations by simply comparing the given equation with the standard equation. So here phi is the initial phase, which is, on comparing, it is pi by 4, which is 45 degree. And this 2 pi by lambda is 20. So 2 pi by lambda, it is equal to 20 units. From this we can easily get the value of lambda, which is the wavelength. So lambda would be equal to 2 pi by 20. That is equal to pi by 10. Pi is 3.14. So lambda would be 0.314 meters. So these all are the informations we can easily gather by simply comparing this given equation with the standard equation, right? So students, I hope you have understood all the concepts which are being taught in this particular session, and do practice lots and lots of numericals. The more you do numericals, the more will be the confidence which you will be gaining through it, right? So students, that's it for this particular session. Do keep watching my videos and do share the link of my YouTube channel with your friends so as to share these videos with your associates, right? So thank you students for watching my videos, and keep healthy, keep fit, and always keep smiling. Thank you.